What does it take to survive the elements walking from border to border across the United States? Let's take a look and find out. Right here we have the Granite Gear Crown 3. It's a pretty budget-friendly backpack that's still kind of in the professional realm of backpacking.
And I have the girl version. It's basically the same. I think it's just fitted slightly different to fit the female body a little better.
But these seem to be great so far. They're a 2.5 pound pack, which is absolutely fantastic. Seems like they get relatively good reviews, and we're gonna give them a spin. We've been big fans of Teton. Those are definitely a more budget-friendly option, but they're just so heavy, they're double the weight. We've had a pretty good number of trail hikes with these so far, making sure that they're gonna work out for us, and they're more comfortable than other backpacks I've had. On the sides, we have very large water bottle holders. You can fit a 1.5 liter water in in each. In the top of my bag, I have most of the electronics that I need. And we kind of split our gear between the two of us. We have that luxury being a couple. But I've got a simple Energizer headlamp. I have a 28,000 milliamp hour battery bank with mild solar capacity, but really this is nearly useless. It's more just used in an emergency situation. It's got a flashlight on it and these silly things, but the nice thing is that it's waterproof. So it has this little rubber flap that goes over all of the USB ports. We have several other charging devices, about half a dozen spare AAA batteries, a couple of charging blocks, and our charging cables that we need. This right here, this little bag, that's our first aid kit. Instead of Band-Aids, we use Leukotape, which is incredibly adhesive, and gauze, which we always carry a roll with us. Paige has an inhaler, because in spite of being the kind of person who would walk across the country, she is also an asthmatic.
Mild. It's come in handy a few times on the walk.
Usually up mountains.
Yeah, up mountains.
A bottle of isopropyl alcohol. And for a very severe emergency, some quick clot gauze, just in case. And for a lot of those cuts that you don't want a Band-Aid in the way of, super glue. Super glue works really, really well. We've also got a couple of other things here in the top of the backpack. A merino wool beanie and some merino wool gloves. And they're fingerless. You know, we tried to find waterproof gloves for the winter, and we could never justify using them because everything that we have to do is on our phones. And there seems to be no glove that's really very insulative that also works with your phones. So what we've opted for this time is we're going to do a hot hands fingerless glove combo, and then you can just warm your hands up in your pockets whenever you need to.
And it'll regulate your temperature. Even if they get cold, they should be able to, wet, they should still be able to help with the cold a little bit.
As always, a 12-in-1, both a scarf and a little extra head covering up here around the ears if need be. This is useful for so many things. And finally, waterproof phone case for those really rainy days. What you got in the top of your backpack?
Let's find out. Adorable little action camera. And a handy dandy case. The Charmast battery bank, a little lighter than Torin's. Very efficient for its size though.
Just not waterproof.
Yeah. A lovely merino wool hat for me as well. Just prettier than Torin's. A pink gaiter, which I'm using to protect my waterproof case. some merino minus T33 gloves for me also. A lightning cable, a couple charger boxes, and a Type-C cable. And my adorable little miniature hairbrush. Oh, it's gonna take like 40 minutes to brush my hair, but I'm saving several ounces doing that. I will be carrying a chapstick, unlike Torin. Oh yeah, Burt's Bees all the way. I got the same headlamp energizer. Got mine in a bag to keep it rain safe. Tiny little pocket-sized headphones. And one more girly item that Torin does not have. My ponytail stash. And a little tiny sewing kit.
Which we always seem to end up using on each segment.
Yep.
You'll get a hole in your backpack, you'll get a hole in your clothes, and you just need that quick fix. Up next, here on the outside of my backpack, we've got something necessary more so for us and not everybody else. Given that we document a lot of the journey, we need a little bit more juice for all of the things that we're powering and charging. We have a 28 watt Big Blue solar panel that we can hang on the outside of our backpack with carabiners. We've carried this across many states with us, and it's a little extra weight for what we're doing, but we need it to keep up with all of the electronics.
Yeah, it works really well.
The nice thing about this is that it has a digital ammeter, which means that you can actually tell what it's doing. And part of the reason that we got this one is we used to have one without this particular feature, and when it would finally go bust, we couldn't tell what was going on. We didn't know if it was because of the clouds in the sky. This actually lets us know if something's going wrong though. So we have a read on exactly what its performance is, like if one of the panels breaks or something like that. We'll show you what we have on the bottom here. Our sleeping pads. This is a 0.7 inch simple Ozark Trail knockoff of the variety of other more expensive egg crate style sleeping pads. But I don't like fussing with the inflatable sleeping pads. At some point, they will invariably start losing air. It always happens, and you never know when it's gonna happen. And sometimes it's not enough to justify another one and you're trying to hunt down the leak. It's just too much trouble. You can adjust to sleeping on one of these on the ground, and they're way better. And as far as I can tell, the simple little Ozark Trail, which is like $30 that you can buy at Walmart, it's just as comfortable as the rest. I mean, I'm sure it's not exactly the same, but it's good enough for me. I can't tell.
Good enough for me.
Finally moving inside the backpack. On top we have the Tough Pupper.
No comment.
Paige no comments it. I'll just tell you what it's for. It's for going to the bathroom. That's what that is. Just be sure you clean it out every time before you put it back in your backpack. Probably gonna have a Walmart bag sliding over this.
I don't think a lot of people have use for that, but because we are on a road journey where we're constantly in public and we're camping in towns a lot, we're often in a public space that we're camping, and there happens to be no restroom around. So it's for those weird in-between moments where there's no bathroom and no woods to go in. And it's happened a lot.
There's often no bathroom. You gotta figure something out, and that's the best solution that we've come up with so far. And they're pretty rugged, but it's never pretty. These will occasionally go on the sides of our pack like Paige has room for right here. These are the Canuck or Seanock, whatever you want to call it, water bladder. These are advertised entirely full with someone standing on top of them to show how structurally rigid they are. But as far as I can tell, it's about as good a water bladder as you can get. And the really cool thing is that the end of it opens up right here. So when you slide that off, it means that you have the ability to open the pouch from the widest end. And when you're fishing water out of streams or lakes or rivers, you really want to have that ability. You don't want to be trying to fill it up with this little opening right here. You need the big mouth.
Yeah, it's not fun. We've done it.
Yeah. So these are fantastic. Put them through a little abuse so far already, and they're working out really well.
Yeah. No leaks yet.
They are Sawyer squeeze compatible, and that is very important. So we can hook our water filter right up to them. This right here. Inside that is the backpack's rainfly. Keep it close to the top in case it starts raining. We have our silverware. Some of this is just some cheap plasticware that you can buy in the Walmart camping section. Plastic spoons, plastic forks, just to save a little bit of weight. And a very cheap can opener because it too saves weight. Just the bare minimum.
It seems a little silly to get something, who wants to use a plastic spoon and fork all the time, but after weighing the weight of the fork, spoon, and can opener all together, we're saving about half the weight.
Up next in the backpack, we have my sleeping bag. Paige has the exact same sleeping bag, but it is a Teton Altos 0 degree bag, and it comes in at 2.5 pounds, which is incredibly light for 0 degrees, and it is a bargain sleeping bag at that. I think it was like $130, which for being able to survive a 0 degree night is pretty good.
Yeah. Doesn't get much better than that.
It does not get much better than that. And you can see that they're wrapped in a handkerchief so that they don't scar the backpack in any way, and it also keeps them from rattling a bit more. We have our cook pots. And these are Bestargot titanium 750 milliliter cook pots. They were originally a French press, but we took the innards out, the French press innards out, so that we had just saving a little bit more weight there. That's also why we've cut coffee. And there inside we have our other handkerchief, the lighter to set it off.
I love this.
Our little baby stoves. This is a BRS ultralight cook stove. It weighs, I think it's under an ounce actually, but it typically screws to one of those butane propane mixes. However, those aren't everywhere that you might need them. You might only have access to a 1 pound propane canister, the typical green ones. So we also have an adapter, which allows us to hook this to that. Of course, you're gonna need something when it gets really cold outside, and that is where this puffer jacket comes in. This is a puffer from Mountain Warehouse that retails for just over $50, and it is rated for negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit. We've had it in some pretty cold stuff so far. I don't know that I would really want to wear it in negative 22 degrees, but it'll keep me alive in 0 degrees, that's for sure. Only a couple of things left in this pack. A bear canister.
Bear Vault.
Yep, Bear Vault bear canister. And the largest one, I believe, that they make. Gotta have it where we're going, so we got it. And it's not really that we want to carry it, but you have to carry it.
Yep. And it's big enough for 2 people.
Yep.
So only have to carry 1.
But all of our food will go in here, and it will always take up this exact amount of space. There are certain options that you have, like an Ursack or hanging a bear bag, but those aren't always allowed in every national forest. Sometimes you're required to have this, but pretty much anywhere you're required to keep your food safe away from bears, this is allowed. And finally, clothes.
And don't forget, pillow.
And we're keeping our clothes in a dry bag. This is just a dry bag that you can get from Walmart. Paige and I share the exact same clothing items, so she's gonna show you what's actually in the clothing bag now that I'm done with my backpack.
All right, let's see what's in my backpack. I have a mini Sawyer squeeze, which we don't use a lot, so we're just gonna share this little one. It's super handy. It screws on top of smart bottles and a lot of similar bottles. Here is our lightweight X Mid 2 tent. It is a trekking pole tent, which is something that we have not done before. So that'll be fun. It's so much lighter, it's gonna be way worth saving the weight.
1.9 pounds for that tent right there to fit 2 people. To put that in perspective, our last tent was about 5 pounds, and it was still marketed as being a light tent.
Yeah, not really.
Not really.
Here we got our bathroom bag. We have a little bar of soap, miniature deodorant, conditioner, which I probably won't always carry just to save a little weight, a razor and a couple extra razor blades, miniature toothpaste, a couple of toothbrushes, and a few Q-tips. Here we have some lightweight tin stakes. Some came with the X Mid 2, and we got a couple extra from Walmart just to make sure we have plenty to stake it down when the weather's getting rough. The lightweight ones are way smaller. I have pretty much the same coat as Torrens, but it's blue and smaller, of course. A Mountain Warehouse coat, rated for -22 degrees. I love it. It's super duper warm. Unfortunately so warm you can't wear it most of the time. Rainfly. And I am carrying both of our rain outfits. This time we are trying Cast King because we've gone through, 7 editions of rain gear now, and none of them work perfectly.
None of them do. We've had to retire our last couple of rain suits because they're just way too heavy. And these are a little bit more Frog Tog style, but we're not big fans of Frog Togs. These look like they'd be a bit higher quality.
It's huge, but okay. It keeps you dry. I have a decent feeling about them. Bladders, some feminine items, and for the clothes. Our bags are pretty much identical. We both got a flannel, we both have 2 pairs of moisture wicking hiking pants.
Amazon special.
They're actually really good for Amazon pants. We will both be carrying 2 signature Walking America long sleeve t-shirts.
New, not gross, not stained,
Yeah.
not pit stained.
Not worn yet.
Walking America shirts.
I have the luxury of carrying a tiny little crop top because my clothes are so much smaller than Torrens. This one might be a little stained. a little sweat stained.
It just makes us look more adventurous.
Yeah. There's my second pair of pants. We'll both carry 3 pairs of socks, including what we have on our bodies.
And in case you're wondering, nothing special about the socks. My socks are just standard Wrangler work socks.
Mine are an Amazon brand. I like them a lot. They're a weird name, I can't remember, but I'm starting to get the same ones every time. A few pairs of undies.
3 pairs of underwear for each of us, by the way. It's 3 pairs of underwear, 3 pairs of socks, 2 shirts, 2 pants, 1 shorts. You got shorts, right?
Yeah. Oh, and these are the shorts I'll be taking on the walk. Just 1 pair of spandex. They're a little lighter than the normal hiking shorts that I wore in the past.
And then for the cold days,
some nice thermals. Amazon classic.
we try to be as frugal as we can and save as much money as we can on the things that we can save money on. A lot of this stuff isn't expensive, but some of the things are more expensive than others. You want to spend good money on your backpack, you want to spend good money on your tent, you want to spend good money on your sleeping bags. Aside from that, try to pinch as many pennies as you possibly can, because the rest of it just wears out and fades away and you're gonna trade it out and lose it. Those are the core things though. Tent, sleeping bag, backpack.
And a good hat. And some good shoes. And of course, a pair of thermal pants. Last but not least, my sleeping bag. Just like Torrance.
I did actually forget one or two things that I was carrying.
Oh yeah, I forgot my waistband too.
I too have some earbuds. You gotta have it. For video editing, working on the road. Some earplugs, which we've moved to because we've started to notice a ringing in our ears from all the traffic, like that doesn't stop. A little bit concerning, so we are definitely protecting our hearing now. A 1.2 ounce knife, 2-inch blade, for cutting vegetables and anything else you might need it for, and the Gerber Dime multi-tool.
Oh,
now this is really cool. You've got some needle-nosed pliers, and then here on the outside, I can't believe how many things are on this little, this is 2.2 ounces. A pair of scissors. Do they work on
I
here?
need to know if I can trim my bangs with them. It happens every like 3 weeks. They work great. Chopped it right off.
Flathead screwdriver. A pseudo Phillips head screwdriver. Bottle opener. I don't know what this is for. So anybody is welcome to tell us. I have no idea. It looks like a seatbelt cutter or something.
That's what I was gonna say.
And it too has a knife.
That bird caught a worm. it was dangling this gigantic worm from its mouth. It was like this big.
Ooh. Oh, I see him over there.
Eating
Oh
lunch,
yeah, I saw it.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The worm that size.
Oh, it does have one other thing. This just about escaped my notice the first time.
My favorite.
Tweezers. Very useful though. You need these kinds of things walking across the country.
Got some little doggy bags, technically. They're just so compact. It's perfect. Wet wipes, sanitizer. Gotta have it.
We decided, given some of the rain that we're probably going to have to deal with in Washington, that it would be best to definitely go with something that's truly waterproof. So these are river tested. I have walked through the river for about 90 seconds without them leaking through. These are military combat boots, but they are garments specifically. And garments are pretty well renowned, it seems like, from what I can tell via forums and several other sources on the web among different military personnel. And they're really quite comfortable for boots of this size. They're not quite as light as I would want them to be. I do feel like it's going to wear on me over time, but I also really like the high top for keeping debris out of your shoes rather than wearing like a sort of shoe gaiter. I also like... I really like them for the ankle support, and they are Gore-Tex lined, so they are true waterproof and they have some gnarly tread. That's all fantastic. The only thing is, they're a little bit too heavy. I'm taking a hit, you know? It just seems like that's, yeah. I don't like having wet feet when it rains. They ruin your feet for sometimes days after your skin just starts to peel off. It, you know, you get pruny down there and then your shoes rubbing on it the whole time. It's so hard to find good waterproof footwear that isn't incredibly heavy, but these seem to kind of tread the line. They're just about as good as it gets for what they're giving me. What you got over there?
I got these shoes that I've been dying to get for like 2 years now. We finally did it. I got the Danner Mountain 600. I love them. They're comfortable, they're waterproof, they're super rugged, they got awesome tread. I think they're gonna be great. My other Danners that I had were probably the most comfortable shoes I've had on the walk, but they're like flimsy, sort of more tennis shoe-like. I wore holes in them really fast.
Yeah. I got a normal pair of tennis shoes recently, and even just doing the little bit that we do outside of walking the country, I'm already developing holes in them after a couple of months. We just burn through shoes so fast.
So sad.
I know. Yeah. Feels like you need leather, and they just have to be rugged. We wouldn't even be the Walking America couple if it weren't for the signature hats, which are 100% necessary. They're not just incredibly fashionable. But because the sun, it cooks you all day long, and I can't even imagine wearing like a normal visor. I see a few people that walk across the country and they just have like a normal baseball cap on, or a visor, or they've got a baseball cap with a bandana hanging out the sides. It just isn't, it's not quite enough. I want the full brim, the full wide brim hat. So this is a wool Borges and Scott hat. And I've taken this on several segments now, and it is everything that I've ever wanted in a hat. It's like the hat that I'd been looking for the entire time. Can't praise it enough. I mean...
Obsessed.
Yeah. Seriously, the wool's incredible for its temperature regulation. You would think that it would just be hot in the summer, but actually it kind of tops out in the temperature that it scales to. You'll be a little bit warmer than you might want to be, but it doesn't continue to get hotter. Like if you had a leather hat, it's going to cook you inside. This isn't like that though. It just stops getting hot past a certain point, and it doesn't soak through with water. I mean, you can walk through 6 hours of rain and it doesn't soak through. It's gotten all the way through it maybe like one time, and it was 8 hours of downpour, just constant. Otherwise, it's just incredible. It's warm when it's cold outside, even keeps you cool in the summer, because if you didn't have a hat on, you'd be way hotter. You'd be cooking your brains out.
I'm not quite as in love with my hat as Torrin is, but I do quite like, mostly for style, my Panama Jack hat, Panama Jack brand. It's not water resistant at all. But, what you gonna do? Better than a safari hat or a baseball cap.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a slightly wider brim or some temperature regulating material like the wool felt or something like that, but I can't pull it off. I tried. I ordered myself a smaller hat like that. It looks weird.
Superficial. You see this?
It looks
Everything
weird.
that the Walking America couple
weird.
stands against.
Here. Try and tell me it doesn't look weird. I'm not pulling it off. I look like I'm trying to be Indiana Jones.
I look like I'm trying to be Indiana Jones. Thank you very much.
You look adventurous. It looks right. This just looks right on me. And I'm fine with it. It's superficial. I know you like it.
That's everything.
That's everything?
Everything you need to survive pretty much every element. I mean, aside from 0 degrees and hail and a tornado, you're good. Otherwise, you gotta luck out like we do all the time with the hail and the tornadoes. Just
in the freezing rain.
Yeah, in the
that
freezing rain.
Occasionally. I mean, the rain gets through and it's 40 degrees outside. Can't really do it with our gear.
There you have it, everybody. Every single thing you need to survive a walk from border to border across the United States of America. All coming in at 23 pounds for my base weight and 20 pounds for Paige's base weight. If we didn't have to carry all the extra camera gear and batteries, we could whittle that down to a solid 20 and 17 instead. But for our purposes, 23 and 20 is a pretty good weight. Now let's go walk across the country.